Most of us love a mystery. If we didn't, crime thrillers and whodunnits wouldn't be so popular on Netflix. The artifacts and places you're about to see in this video are a little bit like whodunnits. It's just that the people who did them lived a very long time ago, and their motives weren't criminal. Where do you suppose the biggest collection of stones, circles, and megaliths in the world is? It certainly isn't Stonehenge in England, despite the fact that Stonehenge is easily the most famous. Nor will you find it among the many stone circles of Northern Europe. Instead, the honor belongs to the stone circles of Senegambia, which are almost completely ignored by anyone who lives outside West Africa. It's hard to overstate just how many monuments there are here. Very little research has been done on them, but 1,053 stone circles have been counted. That's only a fraction of the number of stone monoliths that exist in the region. The most recent count says there are 28,931. The quality of stonework on display here is high, but nobody knows who created the monuments or even how old they are. It's probably safe to assume that they were erected several thousand years ago. But until someone spends a reasonable amount of time and money trying to solve this conundrum, we won't find out anything more. Surely a site this size merits further study. We don't know whether to call the Codex Gigas a scientific mystery, a religious secret, or both. What we can say about it for sure is that it's the world's largest medieval manuscript, and both its origins and its purpose are shrouded in intrigue and rumor. It's not just a long book. It's also physically massive at 3 feet high and containing over 600 pages, most of which are made of animal skins. To make matters even more mystifying, the chief subject matter on those pages is Satan. If the stories associated with the Codex Gigas are correct, the whole book was written by one Benedictine monk working alone during the 13th century. It's said that the monk went insane and broke all of his vows, and then created the entire manuscript over the course of just one night. The handwriting all appears to have come from the same hand, and the nightmarish illustrations of the devil certainly give credence to the idea that they were the product of an unwell mind. Realistically, though, it ought to have taken 10 full years to complete. If you're curious, you can see it yourself in a glass case in the King's Library of Stockholm, Sweden. Burana Tower in Kyrgyzstan is all that remains of what was once a thriving city. In truth, we shouldn't really call it a tower. It would be more accurate to say that it's the stump of a minaret. The 25-foot-tall tower stands in the Chui Valley, not far from the capital city of Bishkek. It was once attached to a large mosque, and the mosque served the city of Balasagun. The city was founded by the Karakhanid during the 9th century, but almost nothing of it remains. There are pieces of a mausoleum and a few shattered walls from old fortifications, but aside from that, there's nothing but Burana Tower. Rather than falling victim to an invasion, Balasagun was destroyed by a series of earthquakes. The residents attempted to rebuild the city after each quake, but an especially massive earthquake in the 15th century more or less leveled all the buildings and forced the residents to give up and move away. Earthquakes still happen here today, and without repair work, Burana Tower may not last much longer. As for the mystery in this case, why is the entrance to the tower more than 6 feet above ground level with no means of reaching it? Our next discovery comes from June 2022, and it's a big one. In fact, it's a whole forgotten city. The 3,400-year-old city has recently emerged from the Tigris River, having been submerged during the construction of Iraq's Mosul reservoir during the 1980s. Somehow, the existence of the city was either unidentified or ignored when the reservoir was made. Archaeologists say that the city was built during the height of the old Mitanni Empire. It wasn't any old city either. It was a place of great importance. We know that because it has several large administrative buildings and a grand palace. Some historians think it might even be the ancient and fabled city of Zakkiku, which is known to have been one of the most important cities in the entire empire between the years 1550 and 1350 BCE. This city will only remain accessible for as long as the current drought lasts, which means the experts at the scene have to work fast. So far, they've mapped all of the city's largest areas and identified a fortified wall punctuated with towers, vast storage facilities, and what might be an industrial complex. They've also found 5 ceramic vessels containing more than 100 cuneiform tablets, but translating the text is likely to take several months. Templo Mayor has already given us many fantastic ancient artifacts over the years. It was once the heart of a huge religious complex in the Aztec city of Tenochtitlan. What's left of it is now an archaeological site in Mexico City. Experts and archaeologists have been digging through the site for decades and will continue to do so for several decades more. But in June 2022, they confirmed the discovery of more than 2,500 wooden objects, believed to have been left at the site as religious or ritual offerings. There's no set pattern to the objects. They include figurines, headdresses, masks, jars, earrings, and scepters, all of which were probably deposited by priests during the 14th century as a means of consecrating the Templo Mayor to the gods that the Aztecs believed in. It's rare for wooden objects to survive for so many centuries in such good condition, but in the case of these artifacts, it seemed they were preserved by a combination of the high level of humidity in the region and the anaerobic conditions in the soil. The same ancient shipwreck that gave us the Antikythera mechanism turned up another treasure in June 2022 when marine archaeologists located what's thought to be the long-lost 2,000-year-old head of a statue of the Roman god Hercules. The shipwreck, which is off the coast of Greece, was first discovered by sponge divers in 1900 and has been undergoing constant archaeological assessments ever since. It's thought to have been in its current position since around the year 60 BCE. The marble head has been overlooked until now because it's in such poor condition that it was thought to be a misshapen rock. It was only possible to identify it as a head after divers also found the statue's plinth, complete with the lower parts of its legs. The head isn't the only remarkable discovery to happen at the dive site recently. Archaeologists have also found 2 human teeth embedded into marine deposits, thus confirming that at least one person didn't escape the vessel before it went down. Historians think the 130-foot-long vessel was on its way to Rome from somewhere in the eastern Mediterranean when it sank during a storm, but hope to learn more from these new discoveries. Archaeologists have made an exciting discovery beneath Pembroke Castle in Wales, unearthing evidence of prehistoric activity in Wogan's Cavern. This medieval fortress, first constructed in 1093 during the Norman invasion of Wales, has a rich history, including being the birthplace of King Henry VII of England in 1457. Beneath the castle lies Wogan's Cavern, a vast natural chamber formed by water erosion through limestone rock. The cave, once blocked with a fortified entrance that may have served as a boathouse or sallyport, has long been suspected to have been occupied during the Paleolithic and Mesolithic periods. This theory is now being confirmed by a study funded by the Natural History Museum and the British Cave Research Association. Despite alterations in the Middle Ages and Victorian excavations, areas of the cave sediment have remained undisturbed for over 10,000 years. The current excavation has already revealed fascinating finds, including bones of megafauna like reindeer and woolly mammoths, as well as limpets, shells, pigs, and deer. Dr. Dennis from the University of Aberdeen expressed excitement about the potential of the site, noting that much of the cave's archaeology remains unknown. Croatian archaeologists have unearthed a significant piece of history, a 1st century Roman ship found at the Barber site along the Zadar River. This discovery is a result of 6 years of dedicated research and labor. The ship, remarkably well preserved thanks to the protective layer of sand over the centuries, offers a glimpse into ancient maritime activities. The excavation revealed a section of the ship measuring about 10 by 30 feet. This find is part of a broader study of the ancient port of Barbier, which dates back to the 1st century and was a hub for trade across the Mediterranean. The researchers also explored the structure of a Roman pier at the site, revealing 2 distinct phases of construction. The first phase, dating back to the 1st century, was smaller, while the second phase in the 4th century expanded the pier into a tongue shape. The site has yielded various artifacts, including 30 bronze coins and a board with a metal nail, indicating shipbuilding activities. The ship, initially thought to be from the 2nd century, has been redated to the 1st century, aligning with the construction of the port's first phase. Is the Iron Pillar of Delhi an example of steelwork that was over 1,000 years ahead of its time, or a happy accident? Scientists have never been able to agree on the answer to that question, and it's possible that they never will. What can be said with certainty is that the pillar, which is sometimes also known as the Ashoki Pillar, has stood proudly and resolutely rust-free in Delhi, India for 1,500 years. The entire surface of the 22-foot-tall monument is coated in an incredibly thin layer of mesowite, which prevents the iron beneath it from exposure to oxygen, which would result in the formation of rust. Quite how such a technically complex task could be achieved by the primitive coal furnaces of 1,500 years ago is unknown. Scientists think that it might have been a freak event caused by the iron mixing with slag, lime, and damp air while it cooled. As the people who made it would have had no idea that the rust-proof coating even existed, they'd have viewed it as a miracle. It took several centuries for anyone to come up with a deliberate form of rust-proofing, so either the Indians kept their secrets or they never intended to rust-proof the pillar at all. The Saqqara Bird really shouldn't be such a big mystery. After all, it's just a tiny ancient Egyptian hand carving. What could be so mysterious about that? The answer is that its proportions are perfectly engineered to be capable of flight. If you threw this 2,200-year-old artifact off the top of a mountain, it would glide perfectly, with just the same aerodynamic efficiency as any glider we'd be capable of making today. Although the artifact has a bird's head, the rest of it looks more like a plane than anything avian. The wings are featherless, flat, thin, and tapered. The tail is square. During the 1970s, a curious group of students scaled up the Saqqara Bird to make a plane-sized replica and demonstrated that it could both fly and glide without any tailoring required. If this had been made in the past decade, we wouldn't hesitate to call it a model aircraft, but the ancient Egyptians had no aircraft to use as reference guides when making models. Might this have been a flying child's toy of some kind? Or did the person who made this understand the basic principles of flight even if they couldn't make a powered flying machine? As we slowly come to accept that our ancient ancestors had a better understanding of technology than we usually give them credit for, does it become possible to believe that they might even have understood the basic principles of electricity? That question has to be asked because of the existence of the Baghdad Battery, which was found in Iraq way back in 1838. While historians tend to reject the idea that it's a battery, it's almost impossible to understand the artifact any other way. It's a clay jar that houses a rod of iron, around which is a copper wrapping. There wouldn't be much point in creating it as an ornament if it couldn't be seen unless the jar was opened, and it would be an odd-looking ornament anyway. The Baghdad Battery has been tested under lab conditions and proven to be capable of holding a charge. That poses a huge historical problem, because the artifact is more than 2,000 years old. Were these ancient people really experimenting with electricity? And if so, why didn't they take the idea any further? A groundbreaking study published in the journal Scientific Reports has uncovered direct evidence of drug use in Bronze Age Minorca. This discovery, based on chemical analysis of human hair found in the cult cave of Carotix, marks a significant find in understanding ancient practices. The hair, recovered from a Bronze Age burial site, was subjected to ultra-high-performance liquid chromatography high-resolution mass spectrometry. This analysis revealed traces of alkaloids such as ephedrine, atropine, and scopolamine, indicating the use of various alkaloid-bearing plants by the inhabitants around 3,000 years ago. Minorca's native flora includes psychoactive species like Datura stemonium, Hyoscamius albus, and Mandragora autumnalis, which contain tropane derivatives astropine and scopolamine. The island also hosts ephedra fragilis, containing the phenylethylamine derivative ephedrine, and Papaver somniferum, known for benzoyl-isoquinoline alkaloids like morphine and papaverine. The high levels of toxicity found in the hair samples suggest that these plant drugs were used not only for their medicinal properties, but also for their hallucinogenic effects in shamanic ceremonies. This discovery sheds light on the complex and sophisticated practices of the Bronze Age populations in Minorca. What can we say? People have always loved to get high. Great discoveries are all about wonder, but there are many different kinds of wonder. There are wonders like the great wonders of the ancient world, but there are also wonders as in, I wonder what on earth this is! The discoveries you're about to see in this video all belong to the second category. Ah, the joys of childhood. Imagine being an 8-year-old playing in a sandbox and stumbling upon a relic that's older than your great-great-great-grandparents. That's exactly what happened to a young boy named Bjorn in Bremen, Germany. While most kids find seashells or perhaps a forgotten toy car, Bjarne found a 1,800-year-old Roman denarius. This silver coin, minted in the 2nd century, weighs less than an ounce and is a testament to the inflationary times it was created in. Bjarne, not realizing the significance of his find, took it home before eventually handing it over to archaeologists. The coin's design is worn, but it still bears a pattern around the edge and a central figure. Interestingly, only 2 similar coins have ever been found in Bremen, a region that was never part of the Roman Empire. The coin's journey to the sandbox remains a mystery. It could have arrived through trade, been carried by a river, or even been a souvenir from a bygone era. Plans are afoot to exhibit this tiny treasure at the Foca Museum in Bremen. So next time you're at the beach, maybe swap that bucket and spade for a metal detector. You never know what you might dig up. Researchers at the University of Oxford in England have pulled off a scientific marvel by extracting ancient DNA from a 2,900-year-old clay brick. Now, getting DNA from bones and teeth is hard enough, but clay? That's a first. The brick was found in the northwest palace of Neo-Assyrian king Ashurnasirpal II in modern-day Nimrod, northern Iraq. It was originally discovered back in 1949 by British archaeologist Max Mallowan and his wife, Agatha Christie. Yes, that Agatha Christie, the mystery writer herself. The brick was made from mud and plant-based material collected from the Tigris riverbanks and was broken into pieces over the years, giving researchers a chance to sample its uncontaminated core. The DNA analysis revealed 34 different kinds of plants, including families like Brassicaceae, from which cabbage comes, and Ericaceae, which is the family that contains heather. This opens up a whole new avenue for understanding the biodiversity of ancient Mesopotamia and the materials used in construction at the time. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that working out how to extract DNA from clay might prove to be a revolutionary scientific breakthrough. Pompeii is the best-known archaeological site in the world. It's also the richest in terms of the number of discoveries that continue to be made there. In November 2021, Pompeii gave up one of its most fascinating finds in years when what's thought to be slave quarters were found in such good condition that it's almost like they were frozen in time when Mount Vesuvius erupted in the year 79. We have no doubt that it would have been unpleasant to live in these quarters, but there are indications that Roman slaves, or at least the Roman slaves in Pompeii, were kept in better conditions than you might imagine. They have beds, chamber pots, amphorae, and ceramic pitchers in their rooms, but given that at least 3 people probably lived in this room, they would have been extremely cramped. The room measures just 50 square feet. Also in the room was a shaft from a chariot, which implies that vehicle repairs were part of the enslaved people's job description. Horrifically, archaeologists think that one of the beds might have belonged to a child. The room, which is beneath the Civita Juliana Villa, is currently being preserved. Next is a tale that would make any geologist's heart skip a beat. Imagine you're excavating a petrified forest in Lesbos, Greece, and you stumble upon a 64-foot petrified tree, complete with roots, branches, and leaves. That's exactly what happened to Nikolaos Zoros, a professor of geology at the University of the Aegean. But the story doesn't end there. Weeks later, his team discovered 150 fossilized logs stacked atop each other nearby. This petrified forest, a UNESCO Global Geopark, is one of the largest in the world and dates back between 17 and 20 million years. It's a vivid snapshot of a time when volcanic eruptions buried much of Lesbos under lava and ash. The find is so extraordinary that it's being hailed as a breakthrough in the field of paleontology. It's not just a relic. It's a time capsule that offers invaluable insights into the ecosystems of a bygone era. We know the term unique find is used a lot in archaeology and paleontology, but sometimes the use is justified. This is one of those times. After so many years, it's truly incredible that the tree is still intact. In the heart of Mexico City's historic center, archaeologists have unearthed a 1,500-year-old village that was once part of the Teotihuacan civilization. The discovery was made in the Tlatelolco area and includes water channels, floors, post holes, an artesian well, and a plethora of ceramics. Even human burials were found, complete with bowls typical of Teotihuacan production. This village wasn't just a simple settlement. It had a complex economic structure. They were not just subsistence farmers, fishers, and gatherers. They also produced ceramics, weapons, and various stone and shell artifacts. The village was likely part of Teotihuacan's extensive supply and trade network, and the excavation revealed remains from 6 different periods, including Mexica and early colonial occupations. It's a discovery that adds another layer to our understanding of Teotihuacan, a civilization that was the dominant cultural, economic, and political force in the region during its peak. This find is a treasure trove for historians and archaeologists alike, offering a glimpse into the daily life and economic activities of a village that once thrived under the influence of one of Mesoamerica's greatest civilizations. Next up is a story about cracking the code of an ancient puzzle. Archaeologists have successfully deciphered an ancient Kushana script, shedding light on a civilization that once ruled parts of modern-day India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The script was found on a series of coins and inscriptions, and its decoding has opened up a new chapter in our understanding of the Kushana Empire, which flourished between the 1st and 4th centuries. The Kushanas were known for their religious tolerance and the blending of cultures, and they played a significant role in the spread of Buddhism. Deciphering the script was no small feat. It involved the collaboration of linguists, historians, and archaeologists. The breakthrough came when researchers realized that the script had similarities to other ancient languages, including Sanskrit and Pali. This is more than just an academic exercise. It's a key to unlocking the history and contributions of a civilization that has long been shrouded in mystery. The deciphered script is expected to reveal new insights into the empire's governance, religious practices, and even day-to-day life. It's a monumental achievement that underscores the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration in unearthing the secrets of the past. Artificial intelligence is now everywhere, and it's recently been responsible for helping experts make major breakthroughs in their quest for knowledge of the past. Archaeologists have employed artificial intelligence to translate 5,000-year-old cuneiform tablets. These clay tablets, originating from ancient Mesopotamia, have long been a challenge for scholars. Cuneiform is one of the earliest known systems of writing, but it's also notoriously difficult to interpret. Enter AI, which has been trained to recognize the wedge-shaped marks and translate them into modern language. The project was a collaboration between computer scientists and archaeologists, and the results have been nothing short of groundbreaking. The AI was able to translate texts that had stumped human experts for years. revealing new insights into the social, economic, and religious aspects of ancient Mesopotamian life. This isn't just a win for archaeology, it's a testament to the incredible capabilities of artificial intelligence. As we continue to push the boundaries of what technology can do, it's fascinating to see how it can help us connect with the past in ways we never thought possible. It's like a digital handshake across millennia, and it's changing the game for historical research. The Maya calendar is a subject that's been shrouded in mystery, and let's be honest, a fair bit of doomsday hype, am I right? But now, researchers have cracked open new secrets of this ancient timekeeping system, and there's not an apocalypse in sight. A recent study has delved into the intricate cycles and calculations of the Maya calendar, revealing its astonishing accuracy. The Maya were keen astronomers, and their calendar was deeply intertwined with celestial events. This new research shows that they even accounted for the slight wobble in the Earth's axis, a phenomenon that takes 26,000 years to complete. The study also dispels some long-standing myths, like the idea that the Maya predicted the end of the world in 2012. In reality, that date simply marked the end of one calendar cycle and the beginning of another, so there never was any need to stock up on canned goods. This research not only deepens our understanding of the Maya civilization, but also showcases the incredible sophistication of ancient cultures. It's a timely reminder that while we may have smartphones and space travel, our ancestors had some serious skills when it came to understanding the cosmos. The coral city of Leluh is a place like nowhere else on Earth. Situated on Leluh Island, a satellite of the larger island of Khorsrai in the Federated States of Micronesia, Leluh is a coral city that was a hub of tribal power from around 1250 until the mid-19th century. The city was built using biotic materials like scleractinian coral and prismatic basalt blocks, and it featured an intricate system of walls, terraces, roads, and compounds. At its zenith, Leluh sprawled over an area of about 3 million square feet and was home to around 1,500 people living in a complex hierarchical society. The architecture was a social indicator. The king and upper aristocracy lived in the center behind high basalt walls, while the lower aristocracy and commoners had more modest abodes. The city even had its own pyramidal burial structures called saru. So, who built this marvel? Early theories suggested Spanish castaways or pirates, but the distinct architectural style suggests an independent culture, far predating any European contact. It's a place that challenges our understanding of Pacific Island cultures and leaves us pondering the ingenuity of ancient societies. One of the most surprising and mysterious recent discoveries in Israel is a 1,500-year-old pool and fountain near an ancient Christian site at Ein Hania Park. Now, this isn't your average backyard pool. It's part of a Byzantine-era complex that dates back to the 4th to 6th centuries AD. But here's where it gets juicy. Nobody has a clue what this pool was used for. Was it a place for holy baptisms, or perhaps the ancient equivalent of a luxury spa? The plot thickens. The pool's water flows into a rather fancy fountain, adorned with sculptures of nymphs, no less. This is the first fountain of its kind to be discovered in Israel, and it's got archaeologists scratching their heads. To add another layer of mystery, the site is thought to be connected to the New Testament tale of an Ethiopian eunuch converted to Christianity by Saint Philip the Evangelist. Whether it's a sacred baptismal pool or the ultimate royal chill-out zone, this discovery is only half made. We've found its physical form, but we haven't yet worked out its symbolic meaning or its true purpose. We have yet another story about the wonders of modern technology meeting the mysteries of the past. Researchers at Complutense University in Madrid have given us a fresh look at Paleolithic rock art in La Pasiega Cave, Cantabria, using digital stereoscopic recording techniques. Previously, some of these ancient artworks were thought to be incomplete, But this new method has revealed hidden details, including previously unidentified representations of horses, deer, and possibly aurochs. It turns out the artists didn't just abandon their work, they were actually incorporating the cave's natural rock formations into their art. This harmonious blend of human-made and natural elements adds depth and three-dimensionality to the scenes. Even the cave walls themselves might have served as creative inspiration. For instance, one horse image measuring about 18 by 12 inches uses the cave's natural fractures to outline its head and chest. It's like the ancient version of augmented reality, where the lines between the physical and the artistic blur. This discovery shows that Paleolithic art is more than just drawings. It's an intricate interplay between the artists and their natural canvas. We're signing off with an archaeological discovery that you can literally dive into. A team of underwater archaeologists has unearthed an 8,000-year-old stilted village at the bottom of Lake Ohrid, which straddles the border between Macedonia and Albania. Somewhat terrifyingly, the village was guarded by an imposing collection of more than 100,000 wooden spikes. Putting the spikes aside for a moment, the age of the settlement makes it potentially the oldest stilted village ever discovered in Europe. The site was so well preserved that researchers even found seeds, plants, and animal bones, giving us a glimpse into the villagers' diet, which likely included fishing and livestock rearing. The village is thought to have been home to between 200 and 500 people, and dates back to between 6,000 and 5,800 BCE. If these dates hold up, we're looking at the oldest lakeside community in Europe. Why build a village on stilts? Well, it's not just about flood prevention. The watery surroundings acted as a natural moat, making the settlement harder to attack. Plus, let's not forget the social prestige that comes with living over water. Our ancestors were clearly ahead of the curve when it came to innovative real estate. One of our favorite things to do on this channel is to look into the great mysteries of history. We know you love ancient mysteries too, and that's why we are always putting together new videos like this one, full of wonders from long ago and riddles that remain unsolved. Let's get started. Some controversy surrounds the authenticity of this first feature, but we'll report it at face value. If the scientists and researchers of Bulgaria are correct about this discovery, then the very first golden treasure in history was created in northeast Bulgaria by the Varna people and is approximately 7,000 years old. That would not only make this the world's oldest human-made gold, but it would also give the Varna a strong claim to being the oldest of all the European civilizations. The collection of gold treasures is diverse, including beads, animal designs, rings, and necklaces. The stories say that the whole collection was found by chance during the late 1970s when a cannery was being built in the region, and 22-year-old Rayo Marinov picked them up with his excavator. He stored them in a shoebox for a few days before taking them to local archaeologists. That qualified him for a financial reward equivalent to several times his monthly salary. Perhaps the most surprising object in the whole collection is a golden boomerang, which buries the idea that the device is an Australian invention. Beneath the bustling streets and the high-value properties of San Francisco's financial district lies a forgotten maritime graveyard dating back to the mid-1800s. This intriguing piece of history was unearthed in 1994 during the construction of a new light rail tunnel, where workers stumbled upon a massive ship named the Rome. The discovery led to the revelation that the foundations of modern San Francisco rest upon hundreds of old wooden ships left abandoned by gold rush prospectors. Originally brought to frenzy by the 1848 gold rush, these vessels were deserted as their crews succumbed to gold fever, leaving the ships to clutter San Francisco Bay. The solution to the congestion and lack of land was innovative. Plots of bay water were sold with the condition that they be converted into new land, leading to ships being intentionally run aground and repurposed as part of the city's infrastructure, forming makeshift hotels, bars, and warehouses. However, the Great Fire of 1851 led to many of these ships being engulfed in flames and subsequently buried beneath rubble as the city rebuilt. As a result, today, between 40 to 70 ships are believed to form the subterranean layer beneath San Francisco's skyscrapers, silently holding up one of the world's most valuable patches of land. In an extraordinary discovery that has stirred the imaginations of wine enthusiasts and historians alike, a cache of 170-year-old champagne has been retrieved from a Baltic Sea shipwreck near Finland. Imagine the scene. Divers in 2010 stumbled across a sunken trade schooner 160 feet beneath the waves, its cargo intact, revealing 168 bottles of French champagne. This find wasn't just about salvaging bottles. It opened a bubbly window into the past, showing us the tastes and techniques of 19th century winemaking. Now, here's the bit that's caught everyone's fancy. When first tasted, this underwater nectar began with rather peculiar notes. Think wet hair and cheesy. Not exactly what you'd expect from a premium vintage, right? But hold on, because once it breathed a bit, this age-old bubbly transformed, revealing complex, spicy, and smoky flavors. It's like a time capsule of taste, with hints that it might have been bound for the Germanic Confederation, given its sugar content, a clue to its intended destination, pieced together from the sweet preferences of different regions back in the day. This intriguing tale not only adds a splash of history to our wine glasses, but also suggests the ocean might be the next big thing in wine aging. Imagine stumbling upon butter that's not just a few months old, but millennia. That's exactly what's been unearthed from the peat bogs of Ireland. For years, people have been finding chunks of so-called bog butter, mysterious yellow globs buried long ago. The intrigue? These weren't just random deposits. They were dairy, ancient butter, buried deep within the earth, dating all the way back to the Bronze Age, around 1700 BCE. Researchers delving into this culinary mystery have used stable isotope analysis to confirm that, indeed, these were not your average dairy products, but ancient culinary artifacts, some nearly 2,325 years old, weighing almost 30 pounds. But why would anyone bury butter? The theories are as fascinating as the find itself. Some suggest these bogs served as ancient refrigerators, preserving the dairy in cool, oxygen-poor conditions, perhaps even enhancing its flavor through unique chemical reactions, turning this into an early form of food processing. Others reckon there might have been a ritual aspect to it, akin to the burial of precious items like gold or weapons. What's undeniable, however, is the testament these buttery time capsules pay to Ireland's long-standing dairy traditions. Now we dive into a tale from the depths, where maritime history and brewing heritage converge to uncork a story like no other. The rediscovery of the world's oldest beer, sourced from the 1797 shipwreck of the merchantman Sydney Cove. This ship, setting sail from Calcutta to Port Jackson, met its fate near Preservation Island, taking with it a cargo full of alcohol meant for the thirsty colony of Port Jackson. Lost to the sands of time, the cargo remained hidden until 1977, preserving bottles that held a secret for centuries. The real twist in this tale came when scientists, led by David Thorogood, delved into these time capsule beverages, particularly focusing on the beer. Using state-of-the-art DNA technology, the team resurrected a 220-year-old yeast, Brettanomyces, a relic from brewing's bygone era. This wasn't just a recovery mission, it was a resurrection. The researchers managed to brew beer from this ancient yeast, offering a sip of history, a flavor not experienced for 2 centuries. The Queen Victoria Museum's project not only adds a frothy chapter to our understanding of historical brewing practices, but also presents a tantalizing possibility: the revival of ancient beers, giving us a taste of bygone eras. Imagine standing in the awe-inspiring Bamiyan Valley, gazing up at the colossal Buddhas that once graced the cliffs with their serene presence. These towering figures, carved into the mountainside over 1,500 years ago, were a testament to the rich cultural heritage of the region. The Buddhas of Bamiyan, located in present-day Afghanistan, stood as magnificent symbols of Buddhism's influence along the ancient Silk Road. One stood at a staggering height of 160 feet, while the other reached an impressive 120 feet. These majestic statues, adorned with vibrant colors and intricate details, were marvels of artistry and devotion. They witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the passage of time, and the ebb and flow of human history. Tragically, their legacy was shattered in 2001 when they were targeted and destroyed by the hands of ignorance and intolerance, the terrorist cowards of the local Taliban, who ordered their destruction. Despite their physical absence, the spirit of the Buddhas of Bamiyan endures, reminding us of the enduring power of art, faith, and the need to protect and cherish our shared cultural heritage. Restoration projects have been discussed but have thus far come to nothing. In a fascinating twist of history meeting modern technology, scientists are on the cusp of unlocking ancient secrets preserved by the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE. The tragic event that sealed the fate of Pompeii and Herculaneum also left behind a unique legacy: charred scrolls containing potentially invaluable literary works. These scrolls have been a mystery for centuries, as their fragile, carbonized state made them unreadable by traditional means. Enter the 21st century, where high-energy X-rays and artificial intelligence could change the game. Led by Professor Brent Seals, a team is pioneering an innovative approach to virtually unravel these precious artifacts without physically opening them, thus preserving their integrity. The process involves machine learning algorithms trained on visible fragments of scrolls, which then predict the layout of text hidden within intact scrolls. This revolutionary method not only holds the promise of revealing texts that have not been seen in over 2 millennia, but also represents a significant leap forward in the field of archaeological preservation. The scrolls could contain unknown works of Greek philosophy, Latin literature, or even previously lost historical texts. At the Upward Sun River site in central Alaska, archaeologists made an intriguing discovery that shines a light on Ice Age death rituals. The find included the fragile skeletons of 2 infants buried beneath the cremated remains of a 3-year-old child. These remains, dating back 11,500 years, represent the youngest known individuals from this period to receive burial treatment in North America. This revelation provides valuable insights into the social and cultural practices of Ice Age communities, particularly their treatment of the youngest among them. The site, originally discovered during excavations, revealed a double infant burial beneath a layer of red ochre, suggesting a ritualistic element to the burial practices of the time. The grave contained not only human remains, but also a prehistoric hunting toolkit, offering a glimpse into the life and priorities of the Ice Age people. The presence of stone-made bifaces, dart or spear points, and antler foreshafts decorated with geometric incisions alongside the infants indicates the significance of terrestrial hunting to these ancient communities. The contrasting burial treatments of the infants and the older child, as well as the inclusion of significant grave goods, hint at a complex societal structure with distinct rituals and beliefs surrounding death and the afterlife. Take a good look at the Lycurgus Cup. Is it green or is it red? Actually, it's both. The color you see depends on what angle you look at it from and what direction the light that hits it comes from. The stunning visual effect is due to the fact that microscopic particles of gold and silver were added during the glass-making stage. The particles are only 50 nanometers in diameter, so we can say that the Romans invented nanotechnology. As each particle is 1,000 times smaller than the average grain of salt, we have no idea how the Roman genius responsible for the invention of this cup was able to work with them. They certainly didn't have a microscope for assistance 1,600 years ago. The chances of the particles getting into the mix by accident are non-existent, so whoever made this beautiful decorative glass knew exactly what they were doing. They might have been the only person in the Roman Empire who did, though. Nothing like this has ever been found anywhere else within former Roman territories. Deep in the heart of Østfold, Norway, the Hun burial site offers a window into a fascinating overlap of history, where Viking and Roman eras intersect. Researchers at this site, laden with over 145 visible burial mounds, stumbled upon an intriguing pattern. Vikings, those notorious seafarers of the past, appear to have deliberately mirrored their burial practices on those from the Roman period. This imitation wasn't a haphazard affair. It was a selective homage crafted with precision and meaning, bridging a gap of some 700 years. The most compelling aspect of this discovery is how the Vikings differentiated between the recent and distant past, opting to connect with the Roman era through their burial rituals. The Vikings recreated Roman graves, such as the notable Stora Vikingagrav, with remarkable detail, suggesting a nuanced understanding of their own history and heritage. This was not merely an effort to imitate, it was an attempt to forge a connection by a glorified past, possibly to enhance their social identity and self-perception. By adopting Roman burial elements, the Vikings may have been articulating their own place in the world, underlining a fascinating blend of reverence, aspiration, and cultural identity. A team of archaeologists from the University of Bristol in England have proposed a fascinating new theory regarding the enigmatic stone spheres found at ancient settlements throughout the Aegean and Mediterranean regions. They suggest that these spheres could potentially be playing pieces from one of the earliest board games ever discovered. The spheres, ranging from 4,500 to 3,600 years old and smaller than golf balls, have been found in various colors and made from different materials. The researchers conducted a comprehensive analysis of approximately 700 stones from the Bronze Age town of Akrotiri on the island of Santorini. They identified two major clusters of stones, indicating that they were likely used as counters for a board game. Stone slabs with shallow cup marks were also discovered, suggesting that the spheres could have been placed on or around them. The researchers plan to further investigate the cup marks on the slabs and explore the potential association between the spheres and slabs. They also intend to employ artificial intelligence techniques to gain insights into the gameplay itself. If confirmed, these stone spheres would represent one of the earliest examples of board game pieces, joining similar examples from the Levant and Egypt. If you're unwell, your doctor might prescribe you a course of medicinal pills to treat your illness. Most of us probably think of pills as a relatively modern form of medicine, but that's not the case. Here are some ancient Roman medicinal pills from inside a 2,000-year-old shipwreck. The vessel, known as the Relitto del Pozzino, sank close to the Tuscan coast and was rediscovered in 2017. It's in such good condition that divers have been able to retrieve some of its cargo, including these tiny pills and the sealed tin that's protected them for so many centuries. The pills were found inside a medicine chest, which also contained a surgeon's hook and more than 100 drug vials. The pills have been analyzed in a lab to determine their content. They were found to be made of iron oxide, beeswax, starch, pine resin, and zinc. Based on that, scientists believe they were intended as a form of eye medicine. Rather than being swallowed, the pills would be rubbed beneath the eyes and absorbed by the skin. They probably weren't an especially effective treatment for most eye conditions, but they were better than nothing. All of us gaze up at the sky occasionally, but only very few of us are truly qualified to know what we're looking at. How do you tell one type of cloud from another? Are you sure you can tell the difference between a planet and a star when they're little more than pinpricks of light in the heavens? The sky is full of mysteries, and you'll find the biggest of those mysteries in this video. The new year got off to a strange start in Southern California in 2017 when this bizarre cloud appeared in the sky. The cloud appears to be perfectly round, with empty space in its center. It's easy to see why some of the residents who live underneath it said it looked like a portal to another dimension. There is a scientific explanation for this rare phenomenon, though. Clouds like this are created when the temperature in the sky is below freezing, but water droplets within those clouds have already turned to ice. As the mass of the water droplets becomes heavier, they fall out of the sky as rain and leave a large hole in the center of the cloud. The phenomenon is especially likely to happen in coastal regions, but they're still rare even in those locations. Plenty of UFO enthusiasts saw these pictures and wondered whether aliens had decided that 2017 was the right year to come and say hello to the human race. But no. It's a very unusual kind of cloud, but it's still just a cloud. Most of you will have heard of the Northern Lights, also known as Aurora Borealis. The colorful light show in the sky is best seen from the Arctic Circle, and regularly attracts tourists to places like Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Iceland. You wouldn't normally expect to see the Northern Lights in the skies above Scotland, but plenty of confused Scots thought they were being treated to a glimpse of them in February 2016. Looking at these pictures, it's easy to see why they thought it was Aurora Borealis. But this is another unusual type of cloud formation. They're called nacreous clouds, and they occasionally form on the lower stratosphere above polar regions just after the sun dips below the horizon. You might also hear them referred to as mother-of-pearl clouds. It's normally too dry for clouds to form at 70,000 feet, but temperatures drop low enough during the polar winter to provide suitable conditions. The rainbow-like colors come from ice crystals inside the clouds reflecting the sun's rays. Clouds like this tend not to last long after they form, so always grab a picture as quickly as you can if you see one. A similar kind of colorful cloud display occurred in the skies above Costa Rica in September 2015. Photographs of the clouds were posted on social media from people in Hatillo, Pavas, Esquazo, and San Jose. On this occasion, the clouds had an impeccable sense of timing. The phenomenon occurred on Costa Rica's Independence Day. Some of the comments that accompanied the social media posts noted that the clouds looked like a sign from God, although some people feared that they might be an omen of the end times. In reality, it was nothing quite so dramatic. These are particularly stunning examples of cloud iridescence. They're similar to the Scottish incident in that the colors come from sunlight refracted by the drops of water and crystals of ice inside the clouds. Without the sun to light them, they'd look just like any other cloud in the sky. Many news outlets in North America noted the similarity between the Costa Rican incident and the appearance of colorful clouds in South Carolina the month before, although on that occasion, the clouds were described as looking more like a rainbow of fire. We like to keep an open mind on this channel. We're not prone to believing in the supernatural without being provided with evidence, but we have to ask ourselves what on earth is happening in the sky above Zambia in this picture. It was taken in July 2017 and appears to show an enormous, dark, humanoid-like looking figure floating in the air. More than one person noted the similarity between this shape and the shape of the Dementors that appear in the Harry Potter series of movies. The photograph went viral all over the world and is said to come from a resident of the Zambian city of Kitwa. Apparently, the shape remained visible for approximately 30 minutes. We'd expect to see more photos of the incident if this were genuine though, and to the best of our knowledge, there aren't any. That makes it likely that the photograph is a hoax. We can't say for certain though. Clouds do frequently take on strange and familiar shapes, but have you ever seen one that looks like this before? We're heading back to California now to check out a mysterious light that appeared in the night sky in December 2018. This time, there are plenty of pictures taken by many different people to demonstrate that there's no photo trickery involved. Most observers thought that the light looked like a giant question mark or perhaps a key. Early theories about the cause of the shape's appearance connected it to a rocket launch from the nearby Vandenberg Air Force Base or a SpaceX launch that was planned for the same night. However, those theories were quickly dispelled when it turned out that neither launch had gone ahead because of weather conditions. It took 24 hours for anyone to come up with a credible explanation, but we got one in the end. Apparently, this light show was the work of a meteor. Meteors can sometimes create clouds called noctilucent clouds, and this is a textbook example of the phenomenon at work. The meteor was probably so small that it would fit into the palm of your hand, but leaves a trail of compressed air that manifests itself in this spectacular manner. Strange lights in the night sky are apparently a semi-regular occurrence in the United States of America. Here's a bizarre light display that caught the attention of the residents of Arizona in December 2020. The string of dotted lights, seemingly flying in a straight line and traveling at tremendous speed, appeared on a Sunday evening just after 6 p.m. The military base Fort Drum isn't far from where these pictures were taken, but the military denied any involvement with the light show. In the absence of solid information, alien conspiracy theorists had a field day. An official explanation eventually turned up, but not everybody was satisfied by it. Apparently, this is a chain of satellites launched into orbit about 180 miles above the surface of the Earth by Elon Musk's SpaceX company. They form part of a network called Starlink and help to deliver high-speed internet connections to rural areas. Hundreds of the satellites have been launched in the past few years, but they're only visible from the ground on especially clear, dark nights. If that's the case, though, the chain of lights should surely be visible from anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere so long as conditions are favorable. There are some light shows that you can't see from Earth. You can only see them if you're looking down on our home planet from far above. Say, for example, from the International Space Station. Astronauts inside the station captured these images of a vivid blue lightning bolt shooting up above the clouds in January 2021. Blue jets like these are almost impossible to see from the ground because the discharges erupt from above thunderclouds rather than below them like normal lightning. The lightning bolts seen here are enormous. They burst out of the cloud into a long cone shape and stretch into the stratosphere, extending from 6 to 31 miles above the surface of the Earth before vanishing a matter of milliseconds later. Scientists refer to them as ELVs, an acronym that stands for Emissions of Light and Very Low Frequency Perturbations Due to Electromagnetic Pulse Sources. All we can discern from that is scientists aren't always great at making acronyms. In practice, the bolts occur when positively charged regions of clouds interact with the negatively charged boundary between the edge of the cloud and the air above it. But there's still much about them that we don't understand. It looked like surf was up in the sky when this picture was taken of the skies above Smith Mountain, Virginia, USA in June 2019. The line of clouds with their curved tops look like ocean waves breaking as they approach the shore. Virginia resident Amy Christie Hunter took these pictures and sent them to her local news station. The station's resident meteorologist told her that these are Kelvin-Helmholtz clouds. Clouds like this are rare, but this example is even rarer. Kelvin-Helmholtz clouds are almost never this well defined. They can only exist when the air in the upper level of the sky moves faster than air in the lower layer. The faster moving layer scoops up parts of the clouds beneath it and creates waves at a height of about 16,500 feet above ground level. They generally indicate poor conditions for flying, because if you can see clouds like this, you can bet that any plane flying above that height is likely to experience significant turbulence. It's thought that Edvard Munch was looking at a Kelvin-Helmholtz cloud formation when he painted The Scream, as a similar shape appears in the background. Let's go back to California yet again for these pictures of apparent flying saucers in the sky above the Bay Area in May 2021. Once again, we can see where the confusion came from. The shapes are disc-like and even appear to have a metallic gray color. Not everyone in the Bay Area thought that the shapes looked like UFOs, but even those who didn't wondered why there were apparently stacks of pancakes in the sky. As you may already have guessed, unusual clouds are once again the culprit. These are altocumulus lenticular clouds. They're created when strong winds blow perpendicular to geographic features like mountains, canyons, or even large bodies of water. They're not always perfectly round, like these Californian examples. but these particular lenticular clouds were created by the region's mountains, which caused the clouds to continuously form and then dissipate, creating a stacked effect in the sky. There are so many strange sights to see in California that we can't guarantee that aliens have never visited the state. But these aren't pictures of their spaceships. We're moving across the USA from California to Tennessee now, where these cigar-shaped clouds caused a fright in the skies above Memphis in June 2018. The clouds are enormous, taking the shape of a huge cylinder that goes on for as far as the eye can see. There's no disputing that these are pictures of clouds this time. But what type of cloud are they? The scientific term is Arcus cloud, but most people, including scientists, prefer to use the obvious nickname roll cloud. They're low-hanging clouds that can only appear during very cold weather, or when there's a thunderstorm in the area. They detach from the base of the thunderstorm and settle at a lower height. Clouds like this sometimes appear to be spinning on a horizontal axis, but that's an optical illusion. It's the spinning effect that tends to cause panic. Tornadoes are a common problem in many parts of the USA, and most people know that when you see a spinning cloud, it's time to find somewhere to take shelter. There's no need to worry about roll clouds, though. There are no recorded instances of the funnel-like shapes connecting with the ground and becoming tornadoes. One of the strangest and most memorable incidents of strange lights appearing in the sky this century happened in Norway in 2009. Norwegians must have thought for sure that aliens had landed when this massive white spiral appeared in the sky, accompanied by a streak of blue pointing to about 4 on a clock face. The photos look fake, but they're real. Amazingly, this one-of-a-kind phenomenon was caused by a Russian missile that went out of control shortly after it launched. The Bulava ballistic rocket, which was being fired as a test, had a faulty motor, so it entered a rapid spin and created the spiral of white light before streaking back down to Earth and creating the blue trail. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed the incident and also confirmed that the incredible light show was connected to the missile failure. This was the 6th failure in 13 tests for the Bulava missile, but the only one that's been known to create such an effect. We mentioned earlier that people in Norway are used to seeing the Northern Lights, but even the Northern Lights won't give you a show like this. We've been to the USA several times in this video, so let's go back there one more time. These pillars of fiery orange light were photographed by hundreds of people in Nebraska in February 2021. They're said to have been visible from all over the state and look like something from a science fiction movie. Those with a vivid imagination said that the pillars of light looked like laser beams being fired at the Earth's surface by a huge spaceship. Fortunately for the human race, they weren't laser beams, but instead were yet another rare meteorological phenomenon. You'll only see pillars like this when the temperature is very cold and the air is unusually calm. Under those conditions, ice particles close to the ground are light enough to remain suspended in the air, and then begin to stack because the air is too calm to blow them around as it normally would. When light passes through these stacks, they look like solid pillars. The more crystals there are in the atmosphere, the larger the pillars seem to be. The temperature at ground level has to be below 10 degrees Fahrenheit for this to happen, so remember to wrap up warm if you go looking for them. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!